Welcome back. One more episode. It's day three, day two of my third sprint of 7 days each. It's been going fine so far. Today, I wanted to talk about creator and creativity. First of all, creator is who is a creator? Anybody who creates something. Creator is not necessarily somebody who creates YouTube videos or Instagram shorts. They are also creators, but that is not the only thing we can create. Maybe there is a corner shop on the street who sells maybe vada pav or bhaji. He is also creator. He is creating something for us to consume, right? So there is a difference between creator and consumer. And what most of us do is we consume content. It's not bad. Sometimes it's educational, but most of the time it is not. So there is a psychological element of the doom scrolling. We keep on scrolling things, and in no time you realize that 40 minutes or 1 hour has gone. That is okay sometimes, but not every day. So if you're spending more than say 30 minutes on social media, maybe that's not good. What is an alternate is instead of becoming consumers, we can all become creators. Then there is a question, what is the need to create? Because already whatever has to be said is been said. There are so many channels, there are so many influencers. Is there a space for me? Then what is the next question to ask is what is your intent? Intent is to become an influencer, to make money, or instead of being a consumer, you want to be a creator. That's all. The next question comes is what can I talk about? I'm not a creative person. In fact, the creativity nowadays, we it's all very restricted to art or some media. That's what we call as creativity. But creativity is about thinking outside of the box, like thinking in a new box, new paradigm. And for that, you don't need to do anything rocket science. First, you can start with is whatever you are doing, you can start with that, repeating that. And it is very interesting. Like, suppose whatever has I'm saying in this episode, right? If you find something interesting, you can make a note and say it in your own words. That itself becomes a new creation. And in whatever I am saying is not my own creation, right? I have assimilated a lot of this information and I'm able to communicate that. That is all about creation. Because each of us, each human being has an innate ability to communicate, and there is a beauty in the way each one presents. Sometimes some of us may not have that great range of vocabulary, but you might use simple words to communicate the same thing. But some of us can might use the range of vocabulary and then communicate in a much more elegant and beautiful way. But all that is fine. And one important concept I wanted to also share was the concept of flow. This is Hungarian American psychologist Mikhail Csikszentmihalyi. In late 70s and all, he came out with this research that's called something called flow state. That is, our happiness depends also on not just consumption. Consumption is like if you eat a chocolate or if you eat a cake, you feel good, right? Some oxytocin and all gets released. But if you eat the second cake, the happiness level comes down. Then if you eat the third cake, it goes down very drastically, right? So there are some actions. The utility is it's a very drastic diminishing utility. So the more you do, it less and less joy it gives. So that's what if you do a binge watching on Netflix, the first movie is interesting, but the second movie may not be that. By the time third movie, you feel very restless. There is no sleep, all that. Right? So instead of getting into this kind of activities which are pleasurable, we can get into activities that are enjoyable. Like instead of watching the whole day cricket or a football, we can go out and play. You may not play like a Maradona or Messi, but even if you play a little bit of football, it gives you physical energy. You will be with friends, and maybe after the match, you may go and sit in a pub and have a good laugh. But what is important is when you play, there is an engagement there. In the flow state, what Michael Csikszentmihalyi says is, if the action uh, is at a higher level of skill than your current level of skill, the skill required to perform is high and your current level of skill is low, then we get into a zone of stress. So you feel stressed out. But at the same time, if your ability, your skill levels are high and the performance required is not that great, that means you have more skill than required, then you feel boredom. Like that's what happens in most of the people who work in large corporates, because their full potential is never utilized. So they always feel a bit disconnected. That's what we say, they're disengaged, right? So that is the second part. Now, what is important is, if there's a small amount of stretch, like if your skill level is at certain level, then maybe the task needs slightly higher level. So you need little stretch. That time you expand. That means you grow, that you learn. And there are some activities when there is a right amount of skill and right amount of challenge is there, then you get into a state of flow. That is, it is there is an effort. At the same time, there is a small stress, but it's enjoyable. You're learning. You're stretching yourself. You're solving a problem, but you also you have the skills to go till the end. So that's what important is, start somewhere. Don't try to take a big goal, but try to take a smaller goal which you can accomplish, but it's a small stretch for you. The more you enjoy the process, the more you become proficient in that. And finally, you get the results what you want. So the mastery comes with practice. So that is the, I think, the I'll not say secret, but all of us know that that mastery requires a lot of practice. All of us have a lot of talent. I don't think there's a question of talent. It's all about practice. The more you practice, the better we get at it. Hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions, comments, please put that in the comments. And if you want me to talk about anything, new subject, new topic, on philosophy or leadership, coaching, let me know. I'll do my best to address and create a content around that. Thank you.